Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today we got a new trailer. I waited a few hours for the trailer to pop up on YouTube so we can get a clearer image. It seems to be the trend where these trailers are coming up, and there's new footage here, and there's a lot of new footage, stuff that I thought was spoilers previously, just a few days ago. But it seems to be the new trend where they pop it up on Twitter. After a few hours, they put a crisp version up on YouTube. So bear with me. We got the Twitter version. I blew it up a bit, but you're going to see it pixelated a little bit. Let's dive right into this. We've seen in some of the trailers, there's this body of water, kind of like a lake, and there's some type of whisper crossing. Now, you'll see this come up a few times in this trailer, and this moment, taking what we know now and what we've seen so far, this appears like they've been startled. The whispers have been startled and somebody is around, and that'll make more sense when we go deeper into it. But you see Alpha's face. She's looking around here, and she's kind of like, wait, is that Alpha? Yeah, that's Alpha. She's kind of looking around like, wait a minute, I hear something, and telling the other whisperer to her, right? Like, wait, hold up, we're being watched. Something like that. We know we get Carol and Daryl talking through their stuff, and here's what I'm talking about a little more spoiler images than I expected we'd get. They make this seem like one image, but as you notice, here her knife is on the ground. Obviously, she got knocked to the ground, and then next we see, and they add this sound effect like the pole just impaled her, but her movements make it seem like she's been impaled. Now, this is either a pole from the survivors, and we've seen this in the very first premiere episode where they're fighting on the beach and they throw the poles at the walkers, and it looks like they just missed and got her in the shoulder. Now, I was shocked. I thought this had to have been someone else, like an Alpha decoy. I think that would be clever. Come on, you have masks. It just makes sense to dress up someone as Alpha. It's kind of a little trick we've seen on multiple different things. They did it even on Star Wars. They had the Queen and they had a decoy. I thought they would have a decoy, but later it does appear that, yeah, this is Alpha. And I know it's a TV show. To me, this looks like a severe wound, but it doesn't look like they're going to go that route. It looks like it's going to be something they throw a Band-Aid on, and it's not really going to affect her abilities to fight down the line. Anyhow, so she gets this wound in the shoulder. It looks pretty damn bad. We see a few more quick images of them in the caves, and Carol's crying. I'm assuming this is when they got out of the caves. It looks like there's a little bit of blood on her head, hard to tell, but running down her neck. And I'm assuming not everyone makes it out of the caves. I know from one of the reviews they did say it was kind of like open-ended, left a little bit of a mystery. And that's all I heard about it. So I'm assuming maybe one or two people somehow get stuck, lost, trapped. They split up and they get left in the cave somehow. And they assume they died, or at least one person actually does die. And that's what this is from. Then again, that could be from anything. But we see Carol here at the Hilltop, and we know that they're preparing for war at the Hilltop. I love the artwork here. This was done by Jadis, wasn't it? Now, the only thing that throws me off is, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you know damn well, this is from, was it season 4 or season 5? This looks identical to the Glenn promo image that they used back then. Same as Herschel, but Herschel, it does look a touch different. But if you actually searched for the promo images from past seasons, they just had an artist color the friggin' promo image, So the Glenn one is glaringly obvious, and so is Beth here. There's a promo image that looks just like this. So that kind of throws it off. But I'm just saying, I dig that. I like having those paintings there, and it looks like they are prepping for the war or the attack on the Hilltop, which has me a little confused. How do they know? Maybe it's Gamma that warns them, but I thought Gamma was warning them because of the cave moment. Here's another image I thought was a clear spoiler. It's Alpha saying, well, I don't know if I could play it. I'll get popped if I play it, and then they're going to ban it in like 180 countries. That's When they do that, it's terrible. But here's what I'm getting at. Her cheek here has a wound. I thought this was just blood splatter. This is actually a cut on her cheek, and there's a deep cut on her eye, like she was in a fist fight. We do know she's going to be in a fight, and look right here. It looks like this is definitely the wound from the spear, which makes this a little iffy now because it appears that maybe they get attacked or ambushed at the crossing, and somehow that leads them to Alpha getting split up and then fighting one or more of our survivors. Right now it looks like it's going to be Daryl at the very least, because they show him in this trailer bloody as well, and it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together. Now, what I mean by this cut, pay attention to this, because I know when we saw this image a few days ago, I thought it was a spoiler. I'm shocked AMC released it, but now that I think about it, all right, fine. This isn't anywhere near her death. Well, I mean, it could be, but what I'm saying is this moment isn't her death. And we know that because of this. The very next image is Negan, and I think this is concrete evidence. Negan is punishing Alpha, and we know they do this when they screw up, mess up, or they, what's the word I'm looking for? You get what I'm saying. She has a fresh cut, cleaned up. The blood is cleaned up, but she's got a fresh cut, just like she had right here on her cheek. And it's glaringly obvious. Even when we see it from a different angle, from this angle, you see her eye is busted up. That is from that fight. I'm assuming she still has her arm healing up somehow. And he's whipping her because she failed. And she failed the Whisperers, but she also failed herself by not straight up winning that fight. And I'm guessing that. But we know because of the cuts, this definitely takes place after that fight. So whatever happens, yes, we see Alpha all bloody in the trailer, but she survives because Negan's punishing her. And not in that way. He might punish her later in a different way with, well, I'd say Lucille, but that's wrong. That's wrong on so many levels. Anyhow, wait, was there something else I was going to mention? Sorry about that. I don't think so, but he's punishing her, and she's got this look in her face that she is disappointed in herself. We have an angry Alpha here. Again, this is before she gets the cut on her cheek. So this is after she traps them in the cave, but before she's punished. Same here. This is likely before they get ambushed. And we know Beta is the one sneaking in. This one is interesting. Now, the reason I say it's interesting is because this is a very unique looking roof or frame to a roof. Keep this in mind. This is Alpha. It looks like she's banging on the wall to attract some walkers to help disguise her or give her an advantage in the fight. She's also favoring her shoulder here. And I would assume this is after. It even looks like there's a little bit of red here. And I'm assuming this is after she got stabbed in the shoulder. And there could be some red here, so she could actually get cut with the mask on. And that would make sense why it looks like such a straight cut before, as opposed to it bursting open from just taking a serious beating. So she's banging on this, I'm assuming, the call of Walker. And we do see, well, it's going to skip it, but I'll tell you later, coming up, we're going to see Daryl right next to this roof, or the same roof but different area. Actually, keep an eye on that car. We might see that later too. But we got Alpha and Negan, and she's got the wounds on her face, so this is after her little battle. This is at the Hilltop. We see her later. Well, this doesn't have to be at the Hilltop, but I'm assuming because we see her later in that gear. We've already got images, that's something new, of them. I'm starting to believe this is during the battle at the Hilltop, and they chase some of the Whisperers away, or they circle around, because again, this is night. I don't know how many different battles they're going to have, but I'm assuming this is when they capture somebody. Now, at first it looked like Gamma, but I thought they had Gamma already. But again, I don't know. That's iffy. And this has me really interested. At first I thought they just added an effect to make it look like the gun was shooting, because that gun doesn't buck at all. I mean, I know there's guns with like really smooth recoil, but that's crazy. Anyway, I like the look of Michonne here, but I get this vibe that this is Michonne a little bit after. You know, like I still feel like there's going to be some type of mini time skip when it comes to Michonne. But her storyline has me really intrigued because other than connecting to Rick, I don't know what they're going to do with it. We already know this is Dante made a grave with that old lady he killed, the grandma, and then Beta's going to be coming up out of the grave. I still find it stupid because the void under the ground where the tunnel is, this would all collapse, especially the size of Beta. So I'm still waiting to see how that pans out because that just doesn't make any sense. I do love him being in the Hilltop, though. And for a second there, I thought, what if Beta opens a door and little Judith just punks him, you know? So hopefully this is a different Whisperer. I didn't know there was any other Whisperers except for Beta, but, I mean, it looks like she's in pajamas. Beta's sneaking around at night. This is either Beta or it's a trick and it's a resident at at Alexandria. And they walk in, she's ready, protecting her and RJ, and the person is like, it's okay, they're gone. Or you get what I'm saying? So that could be a mislead. And here is some of that fight at the Hilltop. And this is a little bit after, I'm assuming, her one-on-one fight with Daryl, which has me, again, really curious. Are Beta and Daryl sitting there for a moment, both of them bloody and whooped, and they have a little back and forth? Is that why we're seeing her have this little talk, both sitting up and then laying back? Because, again, she's got a knife in the other one. So even if he comes at her, if he doesn't have a weapon, she's got a knife. So maybe he's just sitting there for a moment, and his leg looks injured, so he can't just hop up and jump on her. But I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. Some more stuff with the caves. They're punking us, making us think Jerry's going to get it. I don't think so. Well, maybe he gets bit, but I don't think he's going to die in the cave because they show him outside. Can't get much out of this with Michonne running, but this is what I'm talking about. Here we have what appears to be Daryl getting a zombie or walker attacking him or landing on him, falling on him. And this could be the walker that Alpha was drawn in so she can use it as a little decoy. And here's that roof. So this is definitely in the same area where they're fighting. And then the next image is Daryl. And again, the way he's sitting with his hands down, he could be, and again, his face is bloody, man. But he looks like he's favoring his leg or grabbing his leg. And I don't know, he got stabbed in the leg. Part of me wants to go back and look at the image of Daryl walking out towards the Hilltop gates, because now I'm thinking in my head, I wonder if he had a little limp. I mean, it might not be his head. He could be holding a knife out towards Alpha that's on the ground. But again, he looks busted up. So he doesn't look like he's in a position to just jump up and attack. What makes me curious is how do they separate now and go each other, go their own way, because we know both of them survived this encounter just on the trailer alone. This part was a bit cringe. They released a little clip here, and it's a bit cringe. She just kind of screams as they're trapped. We got Judith, one of the more exciting moments. Judith is crying. It looks like it's in front of the radio. And I'm wondering now if it's not Michonne who calls her on a radio, finds a radio, and finds some way to get in touch with them. Because we've seen Michonne on the radios before. She would know, I don't know, what channel they're using or a way to contact her. And again, I'm just guessing. But unless they bring Michonne back and then have her leave again, I don't know if there'd be a way for them to communicate unless it's the radio. And the next image is Michonne here holding what? I have no idea, but she's rubbing it, which I find interesting. At first I thought maybe she had gotten Virgil killed or something popped off and it was emotional, but then I'm looking the way she rubs this. You see right here how she kind of just rubs this, and she has a different crying face on that is, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but part of me is thinking, what could this be if it's something of Rick's that she finds? And if that's the case, then how would it be there? How would she find it? How would she even know if it was Rick's? I mean, what in the world could she be holding that is definitively Rick's? And I don't remember him having anything. Now, they've done this in Hollywood with movies and shows where a character will all of a sudden create a new, trinket that has special meaning. So they couldn't end up doing that down the line. But off the top of my head, I don't know anything specifically. But if I was forced to bet, the only thing that makes sense to me at this time is she finds evidence that Rick did survive the blast. And maybe that's what, encourages her to continue looking in the area she's at. And that is what sends her out of the story for now. Here's a weird looking, it looks like a blob of clothing or flesh, but it doesn't look like he's hitting anyone. And then right when he swings, it like disappears. But it doesn't matter. I like the idea of a vicious, Aaron that looks like comic Rick and TV Merle all in one. Anyhow, they're fighting at the Hilltop, and then it ends and says, February 23rd? No, I got that wrong, didn't I? I don't know. It's this Sunday, so it's coming back this Sunday. And we will do a live stream. For those who don't know, we will do a live stream right after it finishes airing. And at this point in time, we're going to do a flaw and awe for episode 104. After that, not episode 1009. No, what would it be? 1009. Yeah, I got that right. So previously we were doing the new ones. At this point in time, Flaw and Awe, Walking Dead 103 is about to drop probably tomorrow. And then we're going to do a live stream for the brand new episode immediately after it airs. And then we're going to follow that with Walking Dead Flaw and Awe for 104. So again, not 1009. But anyway, thoughts and opinions about this, put it in the comment box. Holy crap, I ran my mouth for 16 minutes. That's far too long. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.